Business is here again, and this is Business Avenue with me, Jacob Jimlala, the traveler. We talk about any kind of business to know the do's and the don'ts and what industry does what. If I want to get in there, what can I do? So we bring different people from different areas to share their experiences and what they do. And today, inside Business Avenue, we are hosting Austin Lungu from Smart Realtors. He is going to tell us what Smart Realtors is all about, and more importantly, what is real estate. So please help me welcome him and join us as we are going to have this chat. Welcome.
Thank you.
And in which business area, industry, do you belong to?
I belong to the real estate industry.
Real estate?
Yes.
Expound for us. People just hear word real estate, but what is real estate? Perhaps today we have this chance to learn and to hear what real estate is all about. So, real estate, what does it entail?
Real estate actually is a broad term which encompasses a lot of things, and one of the things is I'll just list down a few things that are involved in real estate. So we have property management, property valuation, land surveying. We also have a little bit of property renovations and maintenances, but also issues to do with the sale of land. So I think briefly, that's what I can say.
All right, real estate, the part you just mentioned of real estate agents. People have different or mixed views when it comes to the term. Because some people have clarified over dubious transactions that have taken place. What can you advise us in terms of you as one from the area, and what are the nitty-gritty, or how do we trust somebody to say, I'm this area and I can help you, especially in this line of your duty?
All right, that's a very good question. Actually, estate agents is one component under real estate. And now, it's true that there's been a lot of issues happening to do with estate agency. Mainly it's because most of the people that are involved in estate agents, those who call themselves agents, they're not really professionals. They're just people who wake up today and are told that the neighbor's house has been vacated, and because they are in good terms with the landlord or the owner of the property, now they go to the person, I can help you to find a tenant for the property, of which they really, in real sense, they don't really understand and know how the business works. And then they just hear from people say that this goes this way, this goes that way. At the end of the day, they end up misleading people, because at the end of the day, all they focus at is them making money. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about a professional player in the industry, it's someone else who is going to advise you based on what you're looking for, but also give you something that is value for money. So that's why the business of estate agency has been an issue to so many people for some time now, because most of the people doing the business, they are not professionals. And I should also mention one thing to say that at the moment in Malawi, we don't really have a body that regulates estate agency. Maybe that's one of the things that has led to this issue to come up to this end. Because if we had a body that actually regulates or has provided the code of conduct for the business or the industry, I believe that most of us would have been able to abide to that, and at the end of the day, would be able to do the business in the right way, in the right manner, helping and assisting our clients, not just for us to make money for ourselves.
And if somebody makes a foul, definitely a penalty would have followed.
Exactly, a penalty is supposed to follow. Exactly, that's very true, because you're talking about someone else who is actually releasing their monies into something else, which at the end of the day ends up to not be something they were looking for.
To be disappointed.
Exactly.
All right. Why is real estate relevant, especially maybe to a country like Malawi?
Real estate is relevant because at the end of the day, we all need a home. So you cannot talk about life without talking about a shelter. So we all need a home. Now, real estate comes in because it's that sector that would help you to get a house for yourself and actually help you to have a better living as you're staying in the house that you are staying. So I would say that it's really relevant and it will always be relevant.
All right.
Yeah.
If we talk about the business environment of real estate in Malawi, we just talk of what real estate is and who are the players. We just mentioned that I think just two of the players in the that broad spectrum of real estate. But business-wise, how are we faring as a country in terms of real estate management and everything that is there, because you're in the industry?
Real estate in Malawi is so good, and real estate is so good everywhere, because it's that industry that will not go down. People will always be building houses. People will always be looking for houses to stay in. People will always be looking for services to improve their homes and stuff like that. So real estate is a very good industry so far.
Are there enough room for new players to come in and do what other real estate companies are doing?
There's actually too much room, because if I am to ask you a question to say that how many people are building houses today, you're going to tell me that there are a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at how the level of development in our cities, you see that most cities are not well developed. We're still moving there, we're still going there. The development is still in progress. Mm-hmm. So that tells you that there's still room for anyone who wants to come into real estate.
All right. If I'm building a house, or if I'm developing a certain land,
mm-hmm.
to say I'm maybe building a flat, I'm doing something that I know that at the end of the day has to bring me money.
Mm-hmm.
What would you advise me? Should I manage the property on my own, or should I go ask for another hand that should manage the property for me? And why should I do that?
All right. Talking about property management is something that is very important. Mostly, we advise those people who are usually busy with other issues. There are people who usually travel around. Maybe some who are outside the country, and maybe others are just engaged in other things, and then they don't want to have to be dealing with other things like maybe managing their tenants and stuff like that. If you are such kind of a person, I would advise that bringing in a property manager is the way to go. Because when you talk about property management, we are talking about people who are going to act as landlords on your behalf. They are the people that are going to make sure that your property is well maintained at all times. There are people that are going to make sure that there's always someone else in your house. They are the people that are going to be pushing for rent and stuff like that, while you are just staying there doing other things without any pressure, and only expecting to get your payment or the money that comes from the tenants or from your properties at the end of the day.
Okay. How do you know, or how can I know that this one is a crook?
Knowing a crook, of course, it's easy, but sometimes can also
be tough.
Yeah, it can be tough, because when people really want to get money, they'll always make sure that they show you that they are who you're supposed to see them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why in one of the questions that you asked, I told you to say that if you're dealing with someone else, make sure that you're dealing with people who are registered. At least dealing with a company is the way to go.
Than individuals.
Dealing with a company is the way to go, because you know who they are, you know they are registered. At the end of the day, they are not the kind of people who may be there just to eat your money, but they are there to assist you. While individuals, it's hard to trust them. Like nowadays, like in terms of estate agency, there will be some people that will be just seated at a certain tree, chatting there. You say, okay, I want to go and view a property. They'll say, okay, find us a market at this market.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go there, you find out that you pick them, you drop them elsewhere. They say, just drop me here, I'll go home. Let's say that person, you've committed your money to the person. Where do you expect to meet up that person if they don't pick up your call the next time you call them?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're dealing with a company, they'll give you their location. You go there and you're so sure that I come here the next day, I'll still be able to find them here. If I don't find them, there should be some people who actually know about them, because they're a big name, they're a company.
All right. Most people have been frustrated because they trusted wrong people. or in this case, talking of real agency, you hear or you will see maybe a post say there are these houses there and there, and you have to go view and you do all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, before you know it, the house is no longer there, the number is no longer even working, and then you cry foul. But how do you know that in this area, especially if you talk of people who are looking for houses, how do we get to know this? So we will continue this chat to make sure that we have to understand even better, to know how best can we know who is a crook and who is a real person or somebody whom we can trust on these issues, real estate. My name is Jacob Chimulala and I'm hosting Austin Lungu. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. We are still talking to Austin Lungu, real estate issues. That's what we're talking about, to learn and to understand how can we trust those in this area, and at the same time, how do we spot the differences to say, I think that one is a true color and this one is a fake. In town, if we talk of cities like Lilongwe and Zuzu, Blantyre, we can say there's that growing number of people looking for services like this, but then they cry foul all the time. Do we say that they can come to companies like real estate, like maybe I as an individual, maybe I'm just looking for a boys' quarter. Can I still be assisted?
Yes, you can be assisted because at the end of the day, there are companies that are still doing business from all the levels. Of course, a few companies, mostly those bigger companies, are not dealing with small issues. But then there are still some companies which maybe have just emerged in the industry, and they are still interested in helping those people, because at the end of the day, it's the people who are looking for smaller houses with maybe less than 100,000 who are actually a lot on the market. So if you just say that I'm going to focus on these other people, you find out that at the end of the day, you're not really making money. But then when you come down to say that I will handle everyone else, because everyone else really wants to protect their monies. So even these people, they want to protect their monies. So yes, you can come to any company.
When you talk of protecting money, I remember I asked you a question earlier to say, why should I hand over or submit my property to real estate company to manage it? Yes. Now, let's talk of this issue to take away the fear that people do have. Mm-hmm. In terms of managing, do we have perhaps like insurance issues that are coming in to make sure that as I'm handing over my property to you, then I'm sure that everything's just okay?
All right. Talking about insurance, it's up to you to insure your property. That's up to you. But then you come into an agreement with the company to say that this is my property, this is the value of my property, and this is how much I want the property to be rented out at. And then it's the rate that you give the property manager that also be used. The only thing is that you and the company are going to come into an agreement to say that this will be our percentage at the end of the month or at the end of a certain period.
Do you see the industry growing, or where are we doing good and where are we not doing good?
The industry is actually growing, and is growing at a faster rate. And as I already said earlier, said that I see people, they're still building houses. Mm-hmm. Cities are still growing.
And demand for those who want to get houses there is high.
Exactly.
Influx of people into town.
Exactly. So the industry is growing. Now, talking about the areas where we have to work on, I think much of it is what we are talking about, the issue of estate agents. That most of the estate agents are not qualified, or they're not professionals in the industry. At the end of the day, a lot of people are crying to say that maybe they've been duped in one way or the other, which is not good. And talking about the areas where we are doing good, I think there are many areas which I can point out, say that we are doing good. Because when you look at now how we are developing as a country, see, it's because of us, people who are in the real estate, who are actually helping to assist people like you who say, I want to get a house, I want to do this, I want to do this. We are helping you to save time. We handle the job, we do the job on your behalf, and you don't have to do all the job yourself, or you're focusing on other things, we do these things for you. And talking about issues like, because as I already said earlier on, real estate is wide, it's bigger. Now, if we are to go into specific areas under real estate, for example, you talk about land surveying. Land surveying is actually helping us to say that when you're acquiring a piece of land, make sure you have a title deed, make sure it's situated at a place whereby later on, if the government is coming with a road, you're not affected in any way. We have issues like architecture design, whereby you have to build a house that is actually supposed to be built in that particular area, because there are some other houses that the city council cannot approve of.
On that one, should we say, as a real estate company, you also choose to say, we can manage this property, but we cannot manage this, on the basis of the very same thing you have just said, that perhaps it was maybe constructed in an area which you know that any time maybe it is not at a right place, it can be demolished because of maybe the road networks and anything. Do you choose on that part?
Ours would be an advice in that case. If we discover that maybe the property is wrongly located, we only advise the person to say that, you know, your property did not follow these instructions, and therefore it's up to you as a client, as the owner of the property, to tell us what you're going to do about it. But us as a business, we'll come in to say that, okay, fine, you have this property, you want us to manage it, we are going to manage it. But where we see that there's something which is wrong, we are going to advise you, because at the end of the day, when the authorities come, they are going to deal with you. So we have to tell you, in as much as we want money from you, but we have to advise where you're doing wrong and where you're doing right.
So you also do that advisory role to say, we make sure that we have to stay in business.
We do that.
Okay, if somebody wants to go in business, real estate, people would think, I need $1 billion of kwacha.
Not really. You don't need billion of kwajas, but what you need mostly is the idea. What is it that you want to do in real estate? How are you going to do it, and how are you going to get your market? You don't really need a lot of money.
There is a crop of people who are very afraid to start a business, no matter how small, no matter how big. How can we help this kind of people to make sure that they have to have that courage that they can start business and they can even make it?
All right. Doing business or starting business, it's a risk. And indeed, a lot of people don't want to take that risk. But, you know, when you spend your time to understand what it is that you want to do, and actually you take your time to maybe identify a few people who are into the business that you want to do. Because what I've discovered is that a lot of people are not really open enough to go to some people who are actually into the business, to find out how they started, what they had to go through, the challenges and everything.
More like mentors.
More like mentors, exactly. It's a problem to some people. But when you have such kind of people and you understand, you learn from them, it's very easy for you to start, because you know that if this person managed to do this and he is where he is right now, but he had to go through this, I think I can also do the same. In as much as you'll be able to anticipate that there might be challenges along the way, but because you have that understanding that somebody ever did the same, and right now they're somewhere, you have that courage to do that. But if you just wake up today, think about yourself, look at yourself, your abilities, your pockets and stuff, it's possible that indeed you can be afraid. But you don't have to be afraid to start business.
Austin, if you are given that mantle to make decisions, and that decisions are going to last in this area of real estate, what would be your first or 3 things that you want to change or to be worked on to make sure that real estate becomes that industry that is really immaculate?
All right, that's a big one. However, one thing that I would look into would be regularizing the industry. As I indicated, that there are some areas under the real estate that are not regularized. Is to regularize, come up with bodies that would be spearheading whatever happens in that sector. Secondly, I would make sure that there should be a very good relationship between all the players in real estate and the government, because as real estate players, we have much to do with Ministry of Lands, City Council, and National Construction Industry Council, and some other bodies that are involved in infrastructure development. And then we have to make sure that there is that relationship, a very good relationship. And another one would be just to make sure that to help remove the fears that a lot of people have now in as far as real estate is concerned. To say that I don't want to venture into the business of real estate because of this. We'll make sure that we address that. Some people say, I don't want to deal with estate agents because of this. We'll make sure that we address that. So that at the end of the day, there's a very good relationship between us and the clients, who are the ones who are bringing us money and helping us to stay in business. So
real estate is not only there to take money from people, but it's there to make sure that we have the robust, perhaps infrastructure development. At the same time, there's that good network between tenants and landlords.
Personally, I believe that business is all about making a difference. So in making a difference, you're not talking about making a difference in your own life, but also in the lives of the people that you're serving. Because at the end of the day, they are the people that are going to help you to market your products or your services.
All right.
So if today I mistreat you in one or the other, tomorrow you do not want to deal with me, and tomorrow you do not want your friend or your relative to come and deal with us.
Definitely.
Exactly.
All right. Your name again and post and where you're coming from.
My name is Austin Lungu, and I'm the CEO at Smart Realtors company.
All right. It has been a pleasure hosting in the program.
Thank you
and
so
I hope
much.
you are going to make time again when we need you.
Possibly I'll do that.
All right. Business Avenue is the program, and you were with me, Jacob Mulala, and my guest today was Austin Lungu from Realtors Real Estate Company. And till next week, be blessed. That's all we had, and we've been talking of real estate, and we are hosting the CEO of Smart Realtors, that is Austin Lungu, to tell us what we can know or what we need to know about real estate and how can we trust somebody or with our property. My name is Jacob Mulala, the Traveler. Till next time, be blessed and keep it channel for all nations.